Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Star Player Spotlight, Ivar Eriksson. So this is one of the new star players from the Norse/Spike 14 release, and his rules will be found in Spike 14 and in the clamshell pack itself. So what we do on Star Player Spotlight is we have a look at every star player available in Blood Bowl 2020, we look at who they can play for, we look at what they can do, we look at what their special power is, and just how much gold they are going to set you back. So let's have a look at the Norse Griff Ivar Eriksson. Okay, so Ivar Eriksson is a brand new star player, and when he landed a couple of weeks ago, we saw the article, and in there he's kind of likened to the Norse Griff. So that got us really excited because we're like, well, Griff is one of the top 3 star players in the game currently. Could we see something different? Could we see a meta shift? Now, the article itself was incredibly unsubtle about what skills he was going to have, so we knew some things at least. Now, when it comes to skills, we knew he was going to have block, tackle, and guard because the article said something like he can block, tackle, and guard his way around the pitch. So we're like, right, he's definitely going to have those skills. And he definitely has those skills. Block, tackle, guard, and loner 3+, which is interesting. Almost every star player and big guy has a loner of 4+, but some who are more closely allied to their teams, who are just better at their jobs or more integrated, get that 3+. So Ivar Eriksson and Griff Oberwald get loner 3+. So when they described him as the Norse Griff, we kind of thought, right, this dude then is going to be either strength 4 or edge 2+. This is going to be really interesting. So skills we've done. Stats, let's have a look. Movement 6, strength 4, edge 3+, pass 4+, and armor 9+. Basically, we've got a Norse lineman with extra strength and extra armor so far. Now, do not get me wrong, strength 4 is a superb skill of its own, especially when it comes with block and tackle and guard. So this is the first instance in this edition of a star player with guard, of any kind of player starting with guard. Now, I have hopes and dreams of a little Nurgling team or maybe a zombie horde team where they start with guard, but that is never going to happen. But we do have it now as part of Ivar Eriksson. So we've got a Norse lineman with boosted strength, boosted armor, and comes with tackle and guard and a little bit of a better loner skill. Now this dude comes in at 245k. Now he's an old world classic star player, which means he is competing with some high strength, low cost pieces like the Mighty Zug, some low price, medium strength pieces like Carla von Kill, sitting at 210k with strength 4 with blodge. So this guy here is a really interesting star. Now 245 is a reasonable cost for stars. It is expensive, but it is not 380k, Morg, looking at you. It's not 280k looking at you, Griff, but it is not far off. So Griff gets movement 7, strength 4 and edge 2+, and can do all of the things. Ivar Eriksson, from a stats point of view, is a solid blitzer. Okay, block and tackle at strength 4 with movement 6 means that he is going to be able to pulverize any one person that you want him to. And guard means that he's going to be super effective at supporting your berserkers and your Ulfwereners to just get that 4-die block sweetness that you want them to have. So him being a support piece, this guy is the ultimate support blitzer. He makes your team a little bit better, and he's actually very capable at going and 2-die blocking anybody that you want to do that to. But he also has a very interesting special power. Star players in this edition have their star player power, and his one is called Raiding Party. And the Raiding Party power, once per drive. So this is drive, this is not half. So this is between the ball being live and a goal being scored, or at the end of the half. So there will be multiple drives per half. So this is going to come into hand about minimum of 3 times a game in most game situations. So once per drive, whenever Ivar begins his activation, he may choose one open player within 5 squares. So this is 5 left, 5 right, 5 up, 5 down, 5 diagonally. This is a huge amount of the pitch. The chosen player may immediately move 1 square, ignoring tackle zones, though they must end this move marking an opposition player. Not really sure why the ignoring tackle zones bit's there, because this target player must be open, so can't be in tackle zones, but they can move into tackle zones. This is awesome. Okay, once per drive means it's reasonable. And because the target player has to be open, means they cannot be marked, which means you don't quite have the I'm just going to wander into a cage syndrome, because actually there's going to be, you know, tackle zones there. But you can move any one dude, one square, as long as they end up in base contact with a target opponent. This is massive. So if you've got a Yeti who's been pushed back, you walk that Yeti one square, he is going to end up in base contact. If this guy is playing for anybody else, you can move one square. One dude, one square. Now, in the reveal video, there was maybe a little bit of exaggeration on hyperbole when I called this an extra blitz once per drive. And I'm going to double down. This is better than an extra blitz once per drive. What this is going to do is allow you to create a situation where you can stack your players up, and then once per drive, you can bamf one guy, one square. You can move in and get that support where you need it to be. You can move to the edge of a cage so that you've got a block that you didn't have before. You can move that Yeti back into base contact. You can position your player better. It is only once per drive, and it is only one square, and it has to be marking. But this is going to give you so much tactical flexibility. Now, how much would you pay for a movement 6, strength 4, block guard tackler? I'd probably pay 150k, 200k for that. That's a really useful piece. Ulfwereners are 105k, they're strength 4, they've got frenzy. Let's say frenzy is equivalent to block, and we chuck on another 2 skills, and we make him a star player, which adds on probably about another 40. That's about 185k. This dude for 60k once per drive. So, alright, it is a minimum of twice per game, but it's more likely to be 4 or 5 times per game that you get this ability to just move a guy into base contact. Now, when you are running an Old World Classic team, there is a bunch of great opportunities. In fact, let's have a look at the Old World Classic team list and kind of talk about why. Okay, so Old World Classic teams, we've got Norse from Spike 14, and then we've got Dwarf, Halfling, Human, Imperial Nobility, Ogre, Old World Alliance. All of those teams, with the exception of Dwarves, have got big guys, okay? And actually just being able to, once per drive, just move your big guy into base contact, whether it's a tree man, whether it's an ogre, whether it's a flipping Yeti, that is massive. Being able to blitz with a big guy in that way without actually blitzing with a big guy, monstrously huge. And it's also going to combo really nicely with most of the skills that are on the Imperial Nobility team, so watch out for that. Bend, you can't follow up. Stand firm, I'm sticking in place, they may not do so. There's a lot of stuff there, there's a lot of combos that could be really, really useful. If you're running a tree on your nobility, on your OWA team or your halfling team, actually there's going to be a lot of opportunity for your opponents to not follow up or to put themselves just one square away from your tree man. One square gets him in there. That is 50% extra movement for a tree man. That's absolutely huge. And quite frankly, when it comes to dwarves, there's going to be a lot of opportunity where this is just going to give you one more opportunity at breaking somebody's skull. And that's going to be absolutely massive. And this is the really interesting thing, is you are getting a solid blitzer. This is a great player, okay? Norse lineman with 2 normal skills. That's 40k, 90k. Strength is 80k, 170k. Alright, you're looking at a player that's worth between 150 and 200k, plus this special ability. And this is going to give you so much flexibility to just mark a player that you need to. You don't even need to make that block, but actually being able to move that dwarf blocker into where you need him to be, or there's just so many opportunities here. It can even be used to score. You move your halfling or your nobility blitzer or your human catcher one square forward into a tackle zone. They've got dodge. They've got dodge on a 3+. That could help you get that touchdown. It could set you in a really great place for a chain push. There's a ton of great tactical things there, and I think that's going to be the biggest element here. Everybody who plays Blood Bowl knows how to use a strength 4 block tackle guard piece. But do they know how to get the most out of being able to move one extra square with one of your players? That is something we're all going to have to learn. Okay, so the Ivar Eriksson model is a very interesting one. Okay, he's clearly posing. He's very Norse. He's got that Hulk Hogan vibe. with a really cool helmet that I actually really wish he was wearing. It's a bit of a missed opportunity there, I think. Now, because this is a brand new star player, I haven't seen any third-party kind of replacements for it yet, but it's coming. But because this guy is just a bit of a bigger Norseman, well, there's going to be plenty of models that you can hunt down. If you've already got a Norse team, you've got an old Norse team, you've got a third-party Norse team, just a different Norse guy. And quite frankly, you can just run the Griff model as Ivar Eriksson. Now, if you want to pick this model up, you can. This is Forge World, so it's £21 plus postage, so it's going to set you back a bit of a whack for a model that I think is fine. Bloodtide loves it. I think it's got a ton of character and cannot wait to paint it. So, awesome. I just see an opportunity to take a model that you really like and do something cool and give it a really good paint job. So, Ivar Eriksson, you can get him from Forge World, but actually, any human star player can be used to represent him pretty well. And at 245k, the likelihood of you running multiple human star players is pretty slim. Maybe you're going to be 600k down in a league match and you get to run him and Griff. And if you do, please let us know, because that is a brutal situation that you're probably going to be fine with. Because actually, him moving Griff one extra square, that's good news stories. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up now. Do let me know what you think of Ivar. 245k, solid blitzer, great strength, pretty useful little special ability, and can be played by a lot of teams. It's going to be really interesting. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking.
Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.